All right, what's up, guys? I'm Connor Ferguson here with Eric Bridger for another episode of the Always Race Day podcast. Talking all things dirt tonight. Scelzi's new deal with Spire. I believe our buddy Scott Boguski committed to the World of Outlaws Tour for 2026. Just today, that news broke, and some stuff changing with Sirius, some stuff from PRI. We're going to get around the entire world here in the next 20 minutes or so, and then we're bringing on Tony LaPorta, who's one of the voices of the High Limit Sprint Car Series. So really excited for that. Before we get started, of course, got to give a shout out to Chris Weiser and the Weiser companies. They hopped on with us during the Knoxville Nationals and made our biggest 10 days of the year just a little bit bigger. So big appreciation to them before we get started here. And with all that being said, I always do this. I move the button on myself. Okay, here we go. Theme song coming to you guys right now. All right, what's up, Eric? Hopefully, did we get the sound fixed on that?
Yeah, that sounds good. So
I did a little bit.
Speakers.
I did a little bit of editing on it and didn't change too much of it, but I think I got the master volume toned down a little bit at least. So how you been, man? How's everything going?
Good. It's been a busy couple weeks and then all that. So but there's been a lot happening in the racing world, obviously PRI and all that stuff. And it's the ever shorter off season is pretty much not a thing anymore. It's pretty much an all-go type of deal. I mean, next week
I view it as over at this point. Like I'm planning for next year, and we're there.
Yeah, you have about a week and a half, and then you'll have also shootout racing started. So it's then you have Chili Bowl and late models and all that stuff. So it's full go pretty soon.
By the way, not on our rundown. Audrey Larson running the Tulsa shootout. Pretty cool.
And apparently Kyle's going to try to make it in time to race one class, Outlaw non-wing, I guess.
That'll be interesting.
Or Outlaw Wing. He's supposed to try to race Outlaw Wing, so that'd be interesting.
I'd try to correct you. I have no clue where to start. And I memorized the 6 classes when the week comes, and then after that, I'm done again. And I don't remember until next year.
If you like racing, that's a good week to watch. That's pretty much nonstop.
Well, let's we'll hop right in. We won't even talk about Illinois. We won't. Iowa fans listening, I won't even mention the just 2 phenomenal games that happened last week at Hilton Coliseum. I'm just brushing by it. And Jimmy Rogers' F-bomb, we're not even going to touch on it, even though that happened. And Eric, I'm sorry. Everything's going really well for Iowa State aside from the football stuff. And even Sam Hoiberg had a moment this week. And I apologize, Eric. My bad. All right, Scelzi and Spire Motorsports finally announced their sprint car entry for next season. It will be a number 77 Chili's car. I think that is the coolest part about this whole thing is that sponsorship being in sprint car racing and it being a big time sponsor that's in the NASCAR Cup Series as well. It says they paid $400,000 for north of $400,000 for that charter from Jason Myers, just to make sure they're guaranteeing their full-time status in case something happened. And I assume that charter deal is owner's points, but in case something happens and Gio's not able to finish the season out or something like that, God forbid, or knock on wood, whatever you want to say. Eric Pretzman is going to serve as the crew chief and Cole Newhoffen coming over to be the car chief for that ride. Gio also racing in the Chili Bowl this year. So should be super fun to see that group together. What were your impressions of this, Eric? Because they kind of put it out like a Spire kind of developmental driver program-esque, but it was also not saying that. It had Carson Hocevar on there. He's already in the NASCAR Cup Series. So it was weird kind of release.
Yeah, it's like a driver development type of deal, but not really like a driver development type of deal. There's another driver that's mentioned on there. I can't remember who it was, but it's Scelzi, Hocevar, and the other driver. But it's interesting. I don't know if this is a step into like Hocevar able to race late models or sprint cars or whatever he wants to do. Scelzi deal's been kind of a kept secret for about, I don't know, 4 months, 3 months now. But kind of interesting to see him drive the 77 car with the Chili sponsorship. I don't think he'll be on the Chili's commercial during Sunday's NASCAR races or right in the Dentry. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to see corporate sponsorship in the sprint car racing, and it sounds like Spire is kind of treating this like a corporate deal with the charter deal. And I think the whole Spire Entertainment Group kind of likes those charters and kind of see some value into it.
Yeah, we got a couple comments too. JoJo's asking us what the temps are like by us. Up here, it's 40 degrees. My Uncle Jim is replying to him as if he asked him, which is amazing. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you. He says 6 degrees Fahrenheit, feels like -5. I'm not sure if they're near Richmond, Virginia right now. I could be wrong. I'm sure we'll get a comment in a sec with that. But not to get off track with it, Gio's a phenomenal driver. I think had that charter not been available, I think they definitely would opt to just go in from the ground floor and, not run full time right at the first. JoJo says, I did ask Uncle Jim, you dickhead. And it's past the 5-minute mark, so I can cuss now. Appreciate you guys. But yeah, I think the charter was there, and it guarantees, it gives you a backdoor. It gives you a safety net to make sure you're just sufficient in having a sprint car operation and doing the whole thing. And the other cool thing is Spire's still on Tyler Courtney's car. So even with having their own ride, so it seems like they're fully committed to this dirt thing, probably partially because of the work that Carson Hocevar has done in the races that he's ran on the late model side of things. So I thought that was pretty cool, and obviously a move that we've been talking about for, since August now?
Mm-hmm.
A couple more outlaws for 2026. Scotty Thiel, the 2024 IRA champion, as well as Scott Boguski with the Three Stooges Racing in the number 51 car. Eric, your thoughts on both those guys? Scotty Thiel's had his day. Scott Boguski has been really, and I don't mean like Scotty's on like the downturn of his career or anything. I just mean Scotty has risen up before on a few occasions. It'll be interesting to see what he does. Boguski, on the other hand, has been insanely fast the last couple of years, kind of outdriving the cars that he's in sometimes. And people are going to argue things either way. But I'm really intrigued by seeing Boguski on the Outlaws Tour full time. I think that's going to be interesting. He is every time he's on the microphone, it's classic Australian. It's why we get Glenn Saville on here as much as we do. That'll be fun to watch on Dirt Vision as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's sounds like it's kind of like two new teams that are joining Outlaws. So your first thought is how long they're going to last on tour. You don't know how much equipment or how much stuff they have. I mean, going down to Volusia back-to-back, trips, it's kind of tough because Volusia's harder on motors. So hopefully they can survive that. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting because you see some of those guys joining the Outlaws. I think it's kind of like a now or never type of deal, or why not try it and see if you like it. It's going to be tough for both drivers and both teams, but it's an opportunity that they can definitely succeed on and build on as a program, or try it for a year and kind of reevaluate and maybe try it again in the future.
Yeah, no, absolutely right on that. And a couple other small things as we're kind of rifling through these. Tony's got a flight he's got to catch in the morning, and I was like, 20-30 minutes sound good? And he said, yeah, that's perfect. So I just want to make sure we get all these touched on and get to him. But high limit
5-second answers, Connor.
Yeah. It's mostly my fault, honestly.
It is.
But high limit now without a sponsor with Kubota. That was reported by Dirt Tracker for 2026. Same thing happening with the World of Outlaws late model series with Hulk Hogan's Real American Beer. And leadership changes on, I would say, both those brands, with Hogan passing away and just a leadership change at Kubota. I don't know who that was, but So just new logos, new look. There's salespeople in places to get those things sold. Eric, if you could pick one company for either series, what would be the funniest one you could pick?
Funniest?
Yeah, we'll go for funniest because I don't think either of us objectively have any idea where either of those guys are going to go.
I'd like to see Johnny Gibson go with the Viagra sponsorship with like the Mark Martin or something like that, or Extends. The old Conway car, or what is it, Conway? Extends or Viagra?
Yeah, Kevin Conway,
yeah.
2010 NASCAR Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I'd just like to hear Johnny say that every time in the 4-wide salute, and plus see how many people go to the booth to get the free sample, especially during Knoxville Nationals.
I can't top that. I was just going to say hitters or something.
Nah, you gotta go with the awkward ones. Just imagine giving away free NOSes, giving away free Viagras.
Free Extends.
You probably got to sign the form though before you grab it. Sorry, kids, read that one.
All right. This was also from Dirt Tracker last week, but Dirt Vision's contract with Knoxville is being negotiated. It would be a massive win and change if Flow Racing was able to get that track. I know High Limit has wanted to race at Knoxville.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't see Knoxville making a change, but also what is each side offering there, and what do you go forward with? And I haven't talked with my guys at Knoxville, so I will get to that. Patreon members will have something for you this week.
Yeah, that's one contract that's probably a back and forth, and I don't know, with the Nationals and everything, I think it's tough not to go with Dirt Vision because it's, even though it's not really like an outlaw event, it's still kind of sanctioned a little bit. It's on the outlaw schedule, so
yeah, they have 2 World of Outlaws dates there that aren't 2 weekends there that aren't the Nationals. It would be kind of awkward to go Flow after that. I don't anticipate a change being made.
Maybe next year, but I'm sure there's a pretty lucrative deal possibly been thrown at Knoxville for Flow Racing. I mean, if that's the one local track you want on your feed, it's Knoxville.
Absolutely. All right. The Sprint Car Council has been formed between a few track officials from around the country. That's World Racing Group's Tom Devitt and Cody Cordell, High Limit's Mike Hess, Pennsylvania race promoter Scott Gobrecht, USAC's Tyler Ransbottom, Eldora Levi Jones, Knoxville's John McCoy, and NARC's Scott Woodhouse, teaming up, meeting once a month to form the Sprint Car Council and kind of enforce things around the sport and bring unified changes to the things as we have it. Now, it's a couple people pointed out to me, and then I watched Dirt Tracker's video on it. Shout out to Justin Fiedler, doing a great job over there. But he had pointed out as well that there was a Sprint Car Council formed in 2018 with the purpose to do the same exact thing, essentially. They were scheduled to meet like 3 times a year, I believe, once every 4 months or something. And this is kind of a re-announcement of a group that already existed, but now is coming back with more organization. They at least have a Twitter account. I count that as far more organization than the group before, if that is fair. What do you think of this, Eric? Do you think this can bring change? Do you think it can be proactive? As we've said, you have to be at some points in the sport of sprint car racing and not late model racing. I'm looking at the comments here. The sport of sprint car racing and dirt track racing in general.
It's the right step in the direction, but I think it would have been nice to see some former drivers on there, like a Paul McMahon or something like that, or somebody that's been in the business for a long time. Maybe have like a team manager or team owner, and then maybe a team owner and driver type of deal. Just been nice to see if they had a couple drivers or former drivers listed on there. I mean, I'm sure their voices will be spread through their proper organizations or regions. But yeah, I mean, just would have been nice to see some drivers added to that.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, leave your comments throughout the show, especially questions for Tony. He talks as much as I do, if not more. Can't wait till he hops on here. But Marshall Haynes comments, and this is the next thing on our rundown. But Flo purchased the Lucas Oil late model dirt series. Eric, have you seen something like this before? A streaming platform purchasing an entire series? I mean,
Dirt
obviously
Vision,
with the World Racing Group thing, it
Yeah.
happened the opposite direction, but
yeah. Not really. I mean, I guess it's not really. I mean, you guess you could see it as like NASCAR buying their racetracks or something like that. But for it's something that I think that's been in the making for a while, because last year it was presented by Flow Racing, even though it was Lucas' name, and Lucas has been slowly getting out of racing because of the passing of the original owner, founder, and different ownerships and all that stuff. But I mean, it's interesting. I think the stars are starting to align a little bit, where you might see a high limit late model being added to the high limit racing banner. So I could see that happening in the next year or 2 years down the road. So,
and my honest thoughts to that is it could not be a better time.
And to ditch the playoff format.
That is also on the list. I was saving on fireworks, but you've sizzled all over my crackle.
You're welcome.
So they listen to you. In the high limit thing, like, that's just branding. I think it should both be high limit. Then you each have a late model series. You each have a sprint car series. Then more people know that you're both national tours. It's just the smart thing to do. But yeah, they listen to your thing, your argument to this. And I kind of took the other side just for the sake of doing so. But
people's choice.
What's that?
People's choice.
People's choice. It will be a season-long points format for the Lucas Oil late model series in 2026. What do you think? You excited for that? You're supposed to say, this is going to make me watch all 56 races. I'm going to be glued to the television. I'm going to be sitting there screaming my ass off, race 17 of the year.
Connor could pick me up and go to the Silver Dollar Nationals or whatever.
We can do that.
But yeah, I mean, it's I think it's the most fair. I think the person that's probably jumping up for joy is probably your RTJ, your Davenports, those type of people. The people who are not jumping for joy, or, I mean, not so really say jumping to joy, but got their advantage was, this year's champion and all that as well too. So, but I don't know. I mean, I think it's the right move, and I think it was fun to see it work at the first couple years, well, last year and this year. But I think it was just, I think everybody just had their fun taken out of it.
Yeah, when it doesn't go the way of the season dominant champion, especially 2 years in a row, especially with what NASCAR saw this year, there's too much outside pressure to it that people want to see the guy who performed over the course of the year win. And like we saw, I think everybody on this chat is old enough to remember the undefeated Patriots team that lost the Super Bowl, and no one said they didn't deserve it. But God, we got about everybody and their brother didn't deserve it from this year's NASCAR Cup Series champions, whoever they may have been. So,
Buster Kyle Larson,
which that's what I'm saying is there's the people saying he didn't, and I'm sitting here saying he didn't. There's one guy I'm going to bring on that probably is going to say he deserved it. I won't line up that question for him, but we'll bring him on here. So you guys will hear the theme song, and then we'll get Tony on here. All right. All right, Tony, what's up, man?
Hey guys, how are you?
How's that? Hopefully you can hear us okay and all that.
Yeah, no, you guys sound good. I like that. I like that theme song. Did you go out and have to get like a big composer to do that for you or something? That's professional.
Oh, my buddy Caleb did it, but my one negative to I said 9 out of 10, just not enough Tony LaPorta in there for me.
In the song?
Yeah, well, in the background of the song, that's on.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think anybody needs any of me in nice sounding professional music like that, or in the footage behind it. But I will tear up some karaoke when you're in Tulsa, or just anywhere that has music playing loud enough for the public to hear. So yeah, I'll cut you a little bit of Neon Moon by Brooks and Dunn if you want that for your next guest that you bring on. That'd probably be a terrible way to start the show, but I'll help you out if you need it.
No, that's perfect. I'll be in Tulsa. I will see you there, and we'll do some karaoke together. How's that?
Gang, gang, as the kids say. On God.
Eric, Eric, I'll give you the first question if you want it.
Yeah, sure. Tony, I was just kind of curious, as the season goes and the high limit racing or whatever series you announced during the seasons, how's it grind like during the season? Does it get kind of old as it goes on, or is it just exciting just to go to a different racetrack as the season goes on?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't say it gets old, because it's like you said, you're going to new racetracks, you're going to different areas. It's hard for something, I think, to get old when it's got as much like variety and just like movement as we have in our deal. So old's definitely not how I would say it. I would say it can wear you down. It can get again, monotonous is such a bad word, because monotonous is when you're doing like the same thing day after day after day. And that's one of the cool parts about working in big time traveling racing. You might do like the same type of things, but no 2 days are identical. I mean, I don't care, because like Chase and Brian Walker, I mean, all of us on the high limit staff, all of us show up at 11 a.m. on race day, and we're putting up most of us are responsible for helping with signage, and then you got to go into your actual like job that you're there to do. So everywhere you go, it's different. So no, nothing about it gets old. It's a grind, like you said. There's just like, wow, we like this year, the schedule, if you look at it, they put it out over a month ago, and we have significantly more overnight hauls from one track to another, whereas like last 2025, this past season, we had a lot of 2 and 3 day shows in one area. And I totally get where the series is coming from. You want to take your product, you want to take these great race car drivers and this great racing to as many people as you can, and I applaud that effort. It's just it's not as enjoyable when you're the one getting there at 11 a.m. to set everything up, then do a full night of racing, then stay till midnight or 1, tearing everything down, loading it up, and then driving several hours to check into a hotel, sleep for a few hours, and just so, I mean, but that's the sprint car lifestyle. That's the dirt track grind. So it's a lot of fun, and it's such a romantic kind of racing, right? Like it's the way that guys like AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti, and Parnelli Jones grew up racing, where hey, we're racing at this fair, then we're going down to this fair, and then we're going to this big event. So yeah, no, it never gets old. It just you just get a little sleepy every once in a while.
Little late night 90s country jams or something like that, right?
Oh man, we that's why you got to get along with whoever your car is. And I ride with several different groups with high limit. Chase, Anthony Carini, our timing and scoring guy, and Brian Walker and I. We travel together a lot, but sometimes I'll jump into one of the pickup trucks that pull either the big screen or our tech trailer. And you got to just do that, because I don't care who you are, you can't spend all that time around the same group of people and not want to kill each other. It's just I don't care who you are, you wouldn't be able to do it even with your best friend. And so yeah, I mean, Walker and Rodman and Creed, they're not the biggest fans of my singing, but nobody is, and so I don't blame them. But yeah, you do a lot of windshield talking, you do a lot of heavy conversations, you do a lot of stupid conversations. Would you rather? What would you do for this? What would you do for that? And then but we're also now so in with each other, where it's like sometimes we can get in the car after a night of racing, get down the road, grab something to eat for 10 or 15 minutes down the road, eat something, and then whether it's an hour or 3 hours or 45 minutes, it's when you're comfortable enough with people, you can get in and just, hey, we're just going, right? It's whatever's playing on the stereo, and it's the sound of the road. So It's a very cool way to live. Don't let anybody lie to you. It's an amazing way to live. You're seeing the country on someone else's dollar, and you're doing it with most of the time pretty good people. And yeah, when you're in a position like I'm in, you get to go have fun doing the actual thing they pay you for, and then continue all the extra. The driving is fun. The seeing different parts of the country is fun. So yeah, it's a cool way to live. That's for sure.
What was the dumbest or funniest would you rather car conversation in general that you guys had this year?
Man, I mean, like would you rather, like kind of like conversation model, like it's not exactly like we don't sit down and go, well, would you rather? It's not so much of that, and some the ones that we do have, you certainly can't repeat on air because then it's like dude,
you our show, no rules on our show.
Well, maybe you guys don't have rules, but your millions of listeners and watchers, they might have a problem with something we talk about, and I don't want to get canceled in 2025 for telling a joke. So it's not a whole lot of like, would you rather eat a frog or a hamburger? It's not that. It's a lot of like which I would take the hamburger in case anyone's wondering. It's just a lot of like you have these ideas, somebody in the car will be like, have you ever thought about this? And they'll explain their idea. And then traditionally, unfortunately, it's met almost instantly by just sheer like anger by everyone else in the car. It's like, what are you talking? Like, why would you think that's a good idea? And you're just like, I don't know. I thought, tomatoes on ice cream could be good or whatever. And that's not a real example. But yeah, it's very few really would you rathers. And it's just more a lot of like, everybody leaves the track and they're like, well, why didn't we do this? Or I think we should do this. Or, what would be good is if we did this. And yeah, a lot of times, everybody in the car or somebody in the car will be like, yeah, it's a good point. But then sometimes and I do think a lot of times it's just like, you just bag on your friends, right? You kind of jump on that whole, like, that's stupid. So, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, because you did ask for a specific example of a scenario that I gave you that we don't have too many of, but, but sometimes the biggest discussions, honestly, if I'm being real with you, center around where we're going to stop and eat, because everybody in the car gets like, one veto, like one or two restaurants that are just, it doesn't matter if everybody else in the car wants it. Each one of us kind of get like a spot or two where it's like, nope, yeah, we're not going. And like, so I just think like Brian, Walker will not do Panda Express. If that's the only thing for 50 miles, we're not stopping at Panda. We're going to keep going. Chase really just has a vendetta against Applebee's. He doesn't like it at all. And me, I'll eat anything. Nobody's surprised to hear that when they look at me. So I don't have many places where I'm just like, ew, no. I'll eat anywhere, anything. So yeah, a lot of our real like heated debates and discussions come down to like where are we gonna make our calorie intake goal for the day. So yeah, that's one of them. I'm sure if I think for a minute, I'll come up with something dumber.
No, absolutely. And along those same lines, with 2025, what was your? You can take a favorite like travel scenario where you guys got to the track early and you got to have like a mini vacation or something, or a race that you didn't think, or a race or a promotion you didn't think was going to be a good time, but that surprised you and you had a great time. I think about the mankini that you were wearing for a weekend. That was fun.
Mankini, where was that?
Was you guys had it was the pink crop tops.
Oh, at Eagle?
Yeah, that soun's right, I think.
Yeah, well, it was last year that they like that bikini zone.
Am I thinking a year? Am I a year off? That's
no. Well, no. You're right on both, because they did that promotion. Bikini Zone sponsored the Eagle Nationals last summer in 24.
Okay, yeah,
and they handed out all these, I mean, like child's medium sized tank tops, and I'm just like, yeah, that's what I would wear.
Tank top. I can't remember the word.
Yeah, well, I mean, nobody looks at me and goes, "That's a guy that needs to be in a tank top," right? Nobody sees me and goes like, "I'd like to see that can of biscuits pop open." So I was so self-conscious about how I would look in it, because they were small. I mean, they were, not only were they small, they were thin and they were sheer, right? So you could see right through them. And
I was wondering why the shirt was under it, and it makes way more sense now.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing. Here's the honest to God truth, and I've told a few people this before. but I put that top on over my polo, my shirt down in the infield, and it looked terrible. I mean, the shirts, we wear these OGO shirts, and I'm not saying the shirt adds 50 pounds, but it's thick, right? And I saw myself, because people screenshotted that instantly, and I'm getting Snapchats and I'm getting pictures on my phone. I'm getting tagged in tweets of like, oh, look at this, this is glorious. This is what I pay for Flow for. And I went home, because I brought the tank top home. I brought several of them home for my girlfriend, who obviously would, those are much more her style than mine. And I went into the bathroom and I put it on, just, bare skin, just the tank top. And again, I'm not saying, people would have like wanted to put me on the cover of a magazine or anything, but I looked so much more like natural and just better, like not like 300 pounds with it just on my body versus over a freaking polo collared shirt. I was like, I should have just gone on camera with it on my skin, like Dylan and Chase did in the booth. So, and then this summer, Bikini Zone didn't sponsor. So what Chase and I did was we went to the High Limit merch trailer, shophighlimitracing.com, check it out. And we just grabbed these pink High Limit Racing, like this one, just a High Limit Racing logo, and they were pink, and we ripped the sleeves off of them, and that was much more normal looking, because those tank tops, I'm telling you, they were way too thin. Not cool.
Go ahead, Eric.
So I know you like your food, and I do myself too. Which racetrack has underrated food for concession stands?
Great question.
Yeah, that is a good question. And so I learned at the Outlaws, because I did video work for the Outlaws for 2 years, from 2022 to 2023. And I learned there pretty quick that you want to do whatever you can in most scenarios to avoid having to eat at the track. And that's not because like you're going to get sick or anything. It's just because, like, often, it's like when you go to any sporting event, the food there is the only food you got. So it's probably a little marked up. And, when you're spending all this money I make on tank tops and cutoffs, you can't be, getting $8 baskets of fries. So, everybody always says Eldora, but that's not underrated. When everybody says it, they know it's really, really good. Because when we get to the track, we set up from like 11 to 1 doing banners and signage, and then the rental car will try to take off and go to somewhere in town for food, just so you're going to a restaurant or a fast food place and you're not paying $15 for a cheeseburger with 10 French fries, which I've seen some tracks do. Oh man, we went to. I probably shouldn't name it, because
you don't have to. Yeah, don't.
I won't name it. Yeah. I won't name it, but we went to a track on the West Coast where I think, and I'll have to look at my text, because I actually text Doug Bowles from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They were near the area, and I was trying to get him to come out for the race, and he couldn't make it. And I said, well, don't worry, you didn't miss much except $10 candy bars. And it was crazy. And I'll have to go back and confirm. I'll look at my text here in a minute, but I'm pretty sure they were selling like Hershey's and like Snickers bars for $10 in the concession lines. And it was out west, and people watching can probably, take their guesses and figure it out. But man, where's somewhere that had really underrated food that you really enjoy? I'm trying to think.
I don't want to take your mind off it, but it came up with someone at the radio station today, and we were talking about the Cattleman's Tent. I know you love the Cattleman's Tent at the Knoxville.
Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously. I mean, like Knoxville, I'm just looking for my phone, because I'll be honest with you, I'm so like bad at my memory. I got to look at like our schedule, and then something will jump out at me, like where we were and what I ate that day, because I like to keep a food journal of like how many calories. I don't think I've ever had them, but I know Tulare, somebody out there fires up this massive grill, and I think they do like tri-tip steak sandwiches or something. That always, is good. Port Royal, of course, at the fair, Tuscarora. I got to serve with Chase at the church stand. That's very cool. That food is very good. I'm a massive Thanksgiving guy, so to get to go there and have like a miniature Thanksgiving meal, that's a lot of fun. I'm just kind of going backwards here. At 141, I had something called the 141 burger. And I remember I made like a post on social media about it. And it was like a cheeseburger with like a flattened out bratwurst on top of it. And I tweeted something where I was like, have you ever wanted a cheeseburger and a bratwurst, but hated holding two things at the same time? Well, 141 Speedway in Wisconsin's got you covered, because they just put the bratwurst in the burger. So that one was really good. where did Danny Sam's win? New Jersey, Bridgeport. They had a pretty solid ice cream stand, and I think the girl gave me the ice cream for free because she felt bad for me because I look like all I do is eat ice cream. So Lawrenceburg has frozen cheesecake on a stick. That's pretty aggressive if you're looking to, meet your calorie minimum. Yeah, once I remember where we go and race, I can tell you all about the food, right? Because it's pretty important to me. So, those are just a couple examples. I'd get the cheesecake on a stick if you're ever at Lawrenceburg.
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, you got to take advantage of the local food opportunities when you can, especially being on the road all the time.
Well, and so that's the thing, right? Like, I still try my hardest to not eat at the track just because A, it's expensive, and B, you kind of look forward to that 1 or hour and a half break to get away, go eat something, and then come back and lock in for the night. But to your point, we do try to, when you're in different towns and different regions and different areas, like I live in Indianapolis, and when you're near a major city, you've got all the staples. There's a Chili's 10 minutes away. There's all your normal fast food, all your staples, right? But then when you go to Pennsylvania, even if it's just going to the gas station wars up there, everybody's got their favorite gas station to eat at late at night. You go, when you're in Texas, you go to Whataburger. When we're out west, of course, we do In-N-Out when we're close to one, which is every frickin' night. So, we don't always sample like the local racetrack food, but we do try to go out of our way. At least I do, to have something like, you can have Chili's, you can have Applebee's, you can have McDonald's, Burger King, anywhere, right? But it's like, oh, we're in this area where there's Whataburger. I don't have Whataburger at home. There's In-N-Out. I don't have In-N-Out at home. So, we definitely try to check out the stuff that's local to the area or the region we're racing in for the time we're there.
How much is having a Chili's car on the tour with Gio Scelzi going to influence you guys on eating at Chili's?
Hopefully greatly. I'll tell you what it's going to influence. I can't speak for everybody else that I travel with because, again, it's not up to me, right? I can't just be like, we're going to Chili's for the 4th day in a row. Like that will get me probably voted off the island. But what it will influence is I haven't told him yet, and I don't know if I'm going to. So breaking news here, but I'm going to try to reference a different Chili's menu item every single time I interview Giovanni Scelzi over the 2026 season. And will it become weird? Will I start stretching for things and really reaching? Yeah, you bet I will. But I'm going to try to educate people as to the entirety of the Chili's menu from Las Vegas to our season should end again in Texas. So over the grind of the high limit sprint car season in 2026, I'm going to try to reference different items on the Chili's menu every single time I speak to that driver. And if he gets tired of it, well, that is unfortunate because I'm not stopping.
Something tells me Gio won't get tired of it. He might have an answer for everyone.
He's a very trim and fit individual. He probably doesn't frequent the Chili's as often as I do, but hopefully they're going to hook him up. And like on Happy Gilmore, they gave him that free sandwiches for life card. And maybe they give him a free triple dipper for life or whatever. And if that's the case, I'm going to work to become way better friends with Giovanni Scelzi because I want to get invited to that. But I'm sure he's going to be into it because they're sponsoring him, right? They're a huge brand. They're a massive name in U.S. Not fast food, but just kind of like casual dining. And for them to be on his car and support him going racing, I mean, obviously I think we'll have some fun with that.
Go for it, Eric.
At the end of the night for the A-Man, you have the dice roll on the high limit features. What's the craziest experience you've had on the dice roll so far that you've experienced so far?
Man, there's two. Well, so the worst one is from last year, and I don't know. I mean, listen, I don't blame. I don't sit and I used to announce USAC. I don't sit and watch every single USAC feature all year. I just can't, right? And even if I had the time, you get busy, you do something else. So I'm not going to sit here and say, do you guys remember this? Because if you don't watch every single night of high limit, I understand. There's a lot.
I think I know one you're going to bring up. I don't know.
So last year, the worst moment, one of the worst moments in my live broadcasting career ever happens. And we're at Tulare. No, it was Chico. It was one of the nights of Gold Cup. It was one of the prelim nights at Gold Cup. And I go over there, and I'm in the crowd, I think, and we cross over the track, and we're in the fan side of the fence. And I get this guy, and you do a little bit of like, chatting him up and learning about the fan and talking to them because sometimes we have time. So I'm like, all right, man. Like, so who you here pulling for tonight? Who you hoping to roll? And he goes, well, I'm a big Justin Peck fan. I'd really like to see, Justin Peck get the driver or be the driver I roll. And of course, then I'd love to see him win, but I'd like to see him win either way. Well, in my ear, that, giant headset I wear, I can communicate with the Flow Racing production trailer, and our director is Tyler McKim. He produces and directs the Chili Bowl, the Tulsa Shootout, the Dome. He's like, he's the Swiss Army knife over at Flow. He does everything. And so in my ear, I hear him say, Justin starts sixth. He'll start sixth. So he's eligible. This guy could roll it. Sorry, no. He starts seventh. That because I have to get my numbers right. He goes, Justin starts seventh. He's eligible. He's in the top 12. So I take that information straight out of my ear. I go, oh, well, hey, Justin Peck starts seventh tonight. You could get him. All right, Justin Peck. That's who you're open for. He starts seventh, Justin Peck. And I'm just thinking, I'm all of a sudden hyper fixated on Justin Peck. Okay, so this guy gets the dice. All right, fans, let's make some noise. Rolls them, and they hit on 4 and a 2. Now, if you're doing the math at home, keep it to yourself. Because in my head, in that live moment, I see 4, I see 2, and all I'm thinking about is, Justin Peck, like, he's that's where he starts. He's right around there. It's Justin Peck. So I go for like a solid 10 seconds where I'm just like, you did it. You called your shot. You rolled Justin Peck. You got him. And maybe it wasn't a full 10 seconds, but a few seconds into this.
It definitely wasn't a full 10 seconds. You're way too hard on yourself.
Okay. Well, I couldn't remember because I was also like, maybe the guys in the truck, they're just laughing their asses off and waiting to see if I'll catch it or not. But finally, in my ear, Tyler McKim goes, "That's a 6, you idiot!" And yes, 4 + 2 is 6. And I have to catch myself and go like, I said, sorry, that's actually whoever it was, Casey Kane or whoever, right? So the funny thing about all that is, of course, I get blown up on the internet, and I feel like a total idiot because math is hard. And from that day to today, if you watch broadcast, almost always, and I know it's a bad habit, I know it's annoying, but I will do the math out loud. I will, to this day, when you see us back in Vegas, the dice will land, and I'll go, that's a 5 and a 3. That's 6, 7, 8. You got the 8th place starter, and I'm, thankfully you can't see me going like 5, 6, 7, 8. So that was pretty bad. And then the crazy thing was, so at Chico, we stay, all the high limit staff gets put up in these campers, these like little, 2-3 person, sleeper size campers. And that year, myself and Brian Walker were in one camper, Chase and Anthony were in another, and our 2 tech officials at the time were in another. And they had us in like this, like half circle horseshoe in a grass lot, but like a pavement road in the fairgrounds at Chico ran like perpendicular to our 3 campers. I wake up the next morning, and it's not like we advertised. Nobody knows where we're staying. It's our names aren't on the campers or anything. I wake up the next morning, and someone has written in massive, like 5 foot tall chalk lettering out on the little concrete pathway. They write 4 + 2 equals ? TLP. And I was like, damn it, man. They know where I'm sleeping. This is not good. And then this year, everybody knows the Bubba situation at Tulare. This gentleman is just high on life. I don't know what he could have been drinking. Whatever it was strong. And he's just, every second he gets a chance to, in between my words, he's shouting Bubba like every single time. And it was funny in the moment, but I had people come up to me for the rest of the season calling me Bubba, and every single person that did it thought they were just they were the first person to do it. I think they thought in their heads, like, I bet he hasn't heard this. And they would just call me, like, people would shout at me from across pit areas, be like, "Hey, Bubba," and I was just like, oh God, I don't want to go back to jail. And then so I mean, the Bubba situation. Oh, and we had one guy at Lucas Oil, and I really don't want to be rude to this guy, but man, we get him down there, and it's like, it's kind of an exciting thing. A lot of people are like jacked up for it, right? And a lot of people are like, "This, I'm gonna be on camera. I'm gonna be on Flow. I get to talk on the PA. It sucks Tony's here, but that's still cool." And we get this one guy down here at Lucas Oil. And I mean, you would have thought, someone like forced him to be down there. I get him, and before we go on camera, I'm like, how's it going, man? And he's like, good. And I'm like, okay, like, you kind of know how this works. Like, I'm going to explain it when we go back on air, but do you kind of get it? And he's like, yep. And I'm like, okay, well, surely he's not going to be like that when we go live. And so, I get the 5, 4, 3, and the camera guy, turns on his light and points at me. Hey, everyone, we're down here with, Connor. I can't remember his name. We're down here with Connor Ferguson, and he's tonight's Durst Dice Roller. Connor, how the heck are you doing tonight? And it's just good. Oh, no, this is bad. All right, Connor. So first off, tell me where you're from. I don't remember the town he's on. I'm from Smithville. Okay, all right, Smithville. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you know how this all works, right? Are you cool if I tell the people back at home? Sure. Oh, no. So at this point, you can't do anything but like play into it, right? And make it even bigger and funnier. So he's just standing there and I'm explaining. And I'm like, does that all make sense? That sound good to you, Connor? And he goes, yep. Oh, man. So, yeah, he was one that I probably got more reaction from than anything else I did all year. Was I literally pulled out my phone 30 seconds after that dice roll, and I must have had 10 texts, Instagram DMs, tweets with people just like, what was that? So, yeah, the dice roll is always a very, you have no idea how it's going to go with people. So, the guy at Eagle wanted to like you make shout outs to people in the crowd that he knew. He's asking me before we go, hey, can I give a shout out? I go, no, you can roll the dice and try to win some money. So, yeah, dude, the dice roll is always, you just have no idea what's going to happen.
Well, that's a good example with me because everyone knows Connor Ferguson, short to the point and very monotone all the time.
Yeah, I mean, clearly, I just was like, I don't know whose name to make up. So I, because I don't want to say, I mean, everybody can go look it up, and I'm truly not trying to be rude to this gentleman, but it's just it's how it was. And again, who knows? I mean, you never know what someone's going through. He could have had something going on that day. Maybe he just found something out, and so he wasn't a bad guy. He wasn't like rude. It was just like a very odd, like, hey, you're down here and you got a chance to maybe walk away with $2,500. Like, that's pretty cool. And he didn't think so at the time. So I hope wherever he's at, he's got a better day going.
For sure. All right. Our guy Marshall says, when's the hangout with Tony party at Knoxville going to happen? We can set this up, by the way. We can get a group of people that have been on the show. We'll figure out what night works best, probably that Tuesday or that Monday night, and get a bunch of people together somewhere in Knoxville. If you're interested, you let me know.
Yeah, Knoxville's dangerous. Are we all going to have wheelchairs like you did last year?
I think so. I think that might have to be the theme.
That might be better, the way people drink at that event.
Dude, it was a lot easier for me. I was thankful I had our intern Connor and my dad there to push me around because I did the least amount of work. I've took the least amount of steps, obviously.
Wait, do you have an intern named Connor?
Yeah, we did for the Nationals. Yeah, we have another Connor.
Did you hire him just because of his name?
His dad's friends with me. It was a nepotism thing. I'm kidding, Connor. If you're listening, I love you, buddy. It's
way to get out in front of the rumors. Just
well, we're in the same city as the McCaffrey family at Iowa basketball that was there forever. So you got to get out in front of it and just say what it is.
I like that. Yeah, the Knoxville hangout. I always go. It's been fun because the first 2 years, the first Knoxville Nationals I ever went to was in 2022 when I was working for the Outlaws. And it's no secret. I mean, I didn't really enjoy the job that I had. I didn't want to be holding a video camera. I took that job with the World of Outlaws because I was trying to get in as the announcer for their non-wing sprint car and midget, the Extreme Outlaw deal they had. And, nobody lied to me over there. They just were like, well, hey, if you do this video job, you're in the door and, you're in the room. Well, they didn't mention that, like, once you get in the room, like, they shut off all the lights. So, I go to the Knoxville Nationals my first 2 years, and I'm like, yeah, this is fun, but I don't really care because I'm doing something I don't want to do. And then in 24, because I was with the Outlaws in 22 and 23, in 24, I went back again holding a video camera, but I was hired privately to go do Donnie's video stuff by TSR and make his content for the week, which a huge honor, right? I mean, like, to go work for Tony Stewart Racing and to work with Donnie Schatz. I mean, I'm definitely not ungrateful for the opportunity. But it's like, oh, I'd really rather be holding a microphone or holding a drink. So finally, in this past August, Chad Hill, who I don't know if you guys know Chad, Cy Lynch's uncle, made it possible for me to stay with him and his family. And I don't care who you are or who you know, nobody's got it better than Chad. He parks his fifth wheel, or the fifth wheel, the big long campers. He parks his fifth wheel. He backs it in just on the turn 4 side, barely, of the start finish line underneath the front stretch grandstands. So you open up the door in the morning and you are already underneath the front stretch grandstands. So this year at Knoxville, much more enjoyable experience. I drank a little too much, and so a hangout session can definitely happen. But we just got to make sure that happens before like 1 a.m. when nobody can see straight or talk.
We will schedule it at an appropriate time. Absolutely.
Cattlemen's. We'll do it at Cattlemen's so people can be like, wow, that guy actually does eat more than I thought people should eat. That's crazy.
All right, I got one more for you, then we'll let you go because I know you got that flight to catch. This is from Mrs. Rogers' 4th grade class in Enumclaw, Washington. She has a student named Chase. He says, my favorite driver is James McFadden. What's his hometown? You know?
Oh man, it's so funny you asked that because we interviewed James last night. Chase Rodman and I did on the High Limit Room. I don't know if I think that's probably going to come out next week, right before the trip when we go down there for High Limit International. But it's so funny that's the question, because I go and tee up James for this question, and I go, well, James, I've always known you, to be introduced from Sydney, New South Wales, and I start getting into my question, and James kind of cuts me off and is like, Sydney, and I'm like, yeah, like you're Sydney, New South Wales, right? And he goes, mate, I'm not from Sydney. I've never been from Sydney. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a bad look. I obviously don't know who I'm talking to. This is not fun. I was probably getting him confused with like Carey Madsen. And so I had to learn, and I don't know why I thought I was truly just getting him confused with somebody else. I don't know why I thought Sydney, New South Wales, because James is from Alice Springs, Northern Territory, Australia, and he had to correct me during that interview. Thankfully, it was taped, and my editor said he's going to fix it so I don't look like a total dumbass. But yeah, James is from Northern Territory. I don't know much about the geography of Australia. I know Australia is like size-wise almost like the same dimensions or roughly the same size as the United States. So, but like how we all have, the whole country's populated from coast to coast, top to bottom. Australia is like everything's just on the coastline. Like there's not much. There's some stuff. I think the Northern Territory is like in more the middle part of the country, but like I think they have like 7 what they call states, like how we've got all of our states, but they've got Western Australia, which is where Perth is, New South Wales, Northern Territory, and then I don't know the others. So yeah, it's Northern Territory, Alice Springs is where James McFadden is from. That's an oddly specific question for how stupid I looked yesterday. That kid is smart.
Tony, do you think I know a 4th grade teacher in Enumclaw, Washington? Do you think she has a student named Chase Rodman?
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I was going to say, when you introduced him, I was like, that kid's name is Chase. I know a Chase, and he is not, he is Chase. And so I was like, I was going to make a joke and be like, I work with a Chase, and it's why I'm bald. But that's pretty funny. Did he throw that in here or something?
I always ask people before we're having them on. I try to get at least 1 or 2 people that I reach out to, and I'm like, hey, you got any funny stories we can ask him that he wouldn't know that I know?
But I'm sure you came up with the school teacher thing.
No, the 4th grade teacher. Yeah, it's a PFT thing from Barstool. He does. He has that, and he has my 4-year-old son Chris.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. One, I appreciate your journalistic integrity because I'm doing my own interview thing right now in the off season. I'm doing in-person interviews, but I do the same thing because context makes an interview so much better, right? Like if you ask a lazy question, you're going to get a lazy answer. That's just life. Unfortunately, deal with it. Whether it's a date or a job interview or whatever, if you sit down and go like, what's your favorite ice cream? You're going to get a terrible answer, right? So hey, kudos to you for doing a little bit of digging. That's good. You could probably be the pit reporter at High Limit if that's the kind of work ethic you bring to the table. But that was funny. You got me there. I was like, wow. But what I bet is Chase probably thought like I just covered up and be like, Alice Springs, Northern Territory. That's stupid. Who doesn't know that? What a dumb kid. But
he said he was at a hockey game, so he's kind of busy and didn't want to think, which is completely fair. But
hey, but I told you the truth, which is that I was a complete idiot.
You answered it to the fourth grader, which is the most wholesome thing you could have done.
Yeah, exactly. I could have been like, screw that kid. I'm not telling the truth about this at all. But instead, I was just like, no, these children out there need to know that, it's okay to look like a fool sometimes as long as you recover. And I even told you guys the truth that our editor, Tyler Burnett's going to try to cut that out so I don't look as stupid. Yeah. So, man, we're really peeling back the curtain here. This is some real stuff.
Hey, next time you come on here in an Avalanche hat, I'm going to have a clown sticker to just hyperimpose right above it.
Well, it's funny.
Definitely didn't use that word right.
It's funny. I was like, because I don't go anywhere without a hat, right? Because like nobody wants to be depressed by my hair. So anything I do, right? I wear a hat. I might wear this one to bed tonight. I don't know. But I was like, I just got to throw on a hat. I'm getting ready to do this thing. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's Connor. Like he's a giant Dallas Stars fan, which sucks for him. And listen, man, I get it. They're good, but they're not the best team in the NHL right now. No one is except for the Avalanche. And so I understand it. In 3 minutes, they dropped the puck against the Kraken. I'm sure that'll be a complete dismantling of Seattle's team, but don't watch it. I think it'll probably stress you out. I get it.
It might be on you if they lose at this point. They don't have any playoff series wins against the Stars. I noticed that looking back at their history.
Who cares about playoffs? That's a dumb thing to bring up. So this hat is authentic. I bought it at an Avalanche game. I've only attended 3 Avs home games in my life because I didn't get into hockey till way too late. I hate it because game. It's such an awesome sport. But I bought this hat at an Avs game last year when we had that month off between the races in February and kicking back up again in April. My girlfriend and I went back to my home in Colorado. We caught Rockies opening day. We caught my first Avs home game. So at this game, the Avs win 7-4. And then the next game I go to was earlier this year with Brian Walker. We caught them beating the Toronto Maple Leafs, also 7-4. And then after Thanksgiving, I took my dad to an Avs game where they won 7-2. So what I'm trying to say here is, yes, if they lose tonight, it might be on me. But if I go to a game at home for the Avs, they are guaranteed to score at minimum 7 goals and more than likely win that game. So I'm just saying.
Text me, I'll bet the over.
If you want to let us know so we can bet the spread.
Actually, I'll go with you. Yeah, let me know.
I was gonna say if you guys want to go to Denver and watch the Avs just destroy another team and score 7, then let me know. We'll get tickets. It's a beautiful city. It's a lot of fun.
Beautiful. Thanks for taking the time, man. I really appreciate it. You got anything else, Eric? Are you good?
All good. Thanks for joining us on.
Tony, catch that flight tomorrow. Otherwise, it's my fault.
I hope I didn't lie. I don't have a flight tomorrow. I have to get up to go to the gym. And
no, I just read the message wrong. I read flight. You probably texted Jim. That's
I probably didn't specify because you kind of feel like a little bit of a D-bag when you're like, yeah, I got to get up to go to the gym at 6 a.m. But then here I am saying it live on air.
I would not thought at all that you were a dick for that. So
that's all right. Yeah, I go. I said, how long do y'all usually record for? I'd like to be on, but I have a 5:45 a.m. alarm that I got to be somewhat alive for.
Yeah, so, I just read the word flight and it wasn't existent.
Hey, man, listen, Dallas Stars fans, I don't think comprehension's at the top of your guys' list, right?
We've never been good at that. Look at Jamie Benn. Look at Miko. We're here to beat you up and speak out.
So I like the Good Wrench Dale Earnhardt Sr. throwback hat. That's pretty classic. But I have to ask. I've been looking at yours because I knew I'd invoke some anger with the Avalanche hat. What is that? Is that a muskrat eating a hockey stick?
It's an otter because we got Ottinger in that. So it's
okay.
It's his Waggle, I think is the company did the brand deal, and it's got a signature on the side and top 5 goalie in the league, Team USA goalie. Got to support.
Oh no, I mean I can't hate there. I mean that dude. I do remember watching that playoff series last year with the Avs against them, and I mean he is a bad man in net. And I was just like, man, if they didn't have him, this whole team are Ottinger merchants. If they didn't have him, they probably wouldn't.
What about Mikko Rantanen? You can't say that about your golden boy.
Well, only because people used to. The first time I'd ever heard he's a X, Y, and Z merchant is about Mikko Rantanen. When people were like, he's a Nathan McKinnon merchant, and I'm just like, listen, I'm like, Chase, don't use words you can't spell. And but Ottinger is, dude, he's incredible in goal and or in net, whatever. And yeah, if they get back to face each other in the playoffs, it'll be pretty intense. We were in Dallas for the finals last year. No, because finals are in like the playoffs are in the spring. So we were in Texas this year, and we walked in to a Buffalo Wild Wings across the street from Texas Motor Speedway out there in Fort Worth, and the Stars Avs game was on. And did that series go to 7?
Yeah, both of them for the Stars went to 7, which was annoying.
So I
watched the Stars clinch at Knoxville Raceway both times.
So it must have been Game 6 or something, because all I know is we walked into this Buffalo Wild Wings. I packed my Avalanche jersey. I have a Cale Makar jersey that I knew I'd get to wear because we'd no doubt with Chase and Anthony, they're massive hockey fans. I knew we'd go somewhere to watch a game or two during the road trip. And we walk into this Buffalo Wild Wings in Fort Worth, and it's just Stars jerseys, like as far as you can see, right? And I walk in with a Cale Makar jersey, and I think they were tied at the time we walked in the third period. And then the Avs score less than 5 minutes after I'm in the bar. And I just stand, I'm just like, yes. And you would have thought the way the group that I came in with reacted, you would have thought like I just started like waving a gun around inside Buffalo Wild Wings or something. And the Avs went on to win that game and obviously lose in the series. But Chase Randall and his family were in there, and they're from Texas, and they're, I think, Stars fans. Or they are just because they're the teams from Texas, and they're like booing me and like tossing like crumbs at me and stuff. And listen, it's hard to be at the top of the mountain. People are gonna take shots. It just happens, but you got to persevere.
I love it. I'll let you have that one. Hopefully, it gives us good karma for the playoffs.
I will give you credit. You're right. The Stars are a massive problem in the playoffs for the Avalanche. I really hope something changes. I'm hopeful with Landeskog back. That's a positive, but that's how he got injured, wasn't it, in that Stars series in 22? He
was hurt before and then got hurt again.
Yeah. So, yeah, I won't lie to you. The Stars have just been a big enough thorn in the side of the Avs that it makes me nervous when they have to deal with them. So.
I love we got Quinn Hughes in the Central Division now, and we still have to do this fucking bullshit divisional playoff stuff so that we'll get to the Western Final again, and we'll just be too tired to do anything. So,
well, we'll have to have some kind of friendly wager if the Avs and the Stars end up facing each other in a playoff series, and maybe we can get that fourth grader from that class in Washington to get involved in it as well. I think his team, the Blue Jackets, they're on the verge of like winning, I think, their 10th game or something here coming up pretty soon.
Is he a Blue Jackets guy? I had a bet today that the Ducks were going to walk in there and take their lunch money. And Chase said he was at the game, and I said I do a hockey bet on the radio every day. Need the Ducks to win, and he just didn't respond.
Yeah.
That's fair.
He relocated.
They won in overtime, by the way.
Who did?
Columbus.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, what's that got to be like? They're probably into double digits finally, and it's only Christmas. As far as wins go, I'm looking at the NHL app right now to just kind of your watchers are probably like, wow, this is cool. They went from racing to just talking about inside jokes
we got
hockey.
Dane Wingy. He says, "Fuck the Stars, go wild." That's not very nice, man.
That's not nice because it should have been F the Stars and F the Wild. I can't find the Blue Jackets.
How do you think Minnesota Wild fans drink when they try to have water with their dinner? Do you think that because they can't use cups, right? So you think they go out of bowls?
Oh, Connor, that was mean.
That's a real old one. I have too many variations of that from college.
I heard that a lot last year with Connor McDavid after Edmonton dropped the ball again, and Chase was just convinced that Connor McDavid is just the greatest player to ever wear a pair of skates, I think, in the NHL, and I'm just like, how can you say that when the Colorado Avalanche have 3 lines before him and then a 4th line? So
that's probably the best one I've heard.
Yeah, but
he'd be a 4th liner in Colorado. Is awesome.
Exactly. I don't know. Oh, I probably should go to standings, not their individual game scores. I just want to see.
You were looking for this whole time?
Yeah, no, I'm not real good with a phone.
It's us. No, you're good. It's us 3 on the top.
Yeah, but Columbus is currently
ahead of Dallas.
Columbus is 14 wins and 13 losses in regulation. So I was wrong. They've already reached double digits. So that's big for them.
Hell yeah. Well, Tony, thanks for taking the time. Eric, you got anything else?
I'm all good. Thanks, Connor. Thanks, Tony.
Awesome. Appreciate you both. Enjoy the rest of your week. We'll be back next week right here on the ARD podcast at 8 o'clock Central Time, live on YouTube. Thanks again, Tony.
Thanks, guys. It was fun.
Thank you.